Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Juta Padakamalam.
Namaste, world raisers. Sabine and Roger here. Let's watch Anyone Who Denies the Existence of God, He is a Madman by Prabhupada. And we have a few people requesting us to cover this teacher, and that is One Is All and the GS Systems. He also popped up a few times when we did the poll about with who would you like to have tea, with what kind of teacher. So I'm curious. He seems to be really loved.
Loved and popular. So what I know about him is I think he's the leader, or he was the leader of the Hare Krishnas. So that's about all I know. But I did read his version, his Bhagavad Gita as it is. So I did read it, so I'm familiar with him in that respect, but I've never watched any of his videos. So here we go.
How to treat the body.
How do you treat the body?
Make the best use of a bad bargain. It is a bad bargain. But we have to utilize it.
When you say then that everything is a part of God, you make an exception of the body.
Yeah.
The body is not divine.
No, he's saying that when we say everything is part of God, the body is
also
an exception. He says the body then is an exception. The body is not part of God?
No, why? Body is also part.
Yes, the body is also part.
Okay.
Yes, it is another energy.
I see.
Inferior energy.
Inferior energy.
Everything is God's energy. The body is also God's energy. The best use of the body is God's energy should be utilized for God. Then it is body spiritualized. Body is also God's energy. And if it is engaged in God's service, then the body is no more bad bargain. It is a good bargain.
Right.
The tenant thinks that this apartment is mine, I am owner, and then he is wrong. If we know perfectly well that it belongs to the landlord, I have given for use, then it is.
Srila Prabhupada and the tenant can be easily evicted.
Yes. Evicted. At that time he knows the owner. When he's kicked out. That is stated also in the Bhagavad Gita. Mrityu sarva harastra. Those who are not believing in God, to them God will come one day as death. Now believe me. Get out. Finish. All your pride finish. Your pride, your property, your family, your bank balance, your skyscraper building, all taken. Yes, finished. Got out. This is God. Now understand God? To believe or not believe, God will come one day. He'll take you, take your everything and get out. That is God. You believe or not believe, it doesn't matter. The same example, the tenant may not believe the landlord, but when the landlord will come with court order, get out, then you have to go. That is stated in the Bhagavad Gita. Those who are not believer in God, to them I come as death and take away everything. Finish. That one has to believe. Yes, as sure as death. Then God is sure. He might challenge, so long you have got little life for a few years. But God will come and drive you away from your present right, prestigious position. Get out. So unless one is madman, he cannot say there is no God. Anyone who denies the existence of God, he is a madman.
Prabhupada, wouldn't it be better to say he's blind, he's stupid?
Yes, that's something. The mad is the sum total of all stupidity. When I say mad, it is the sum total of all kinds of stupidity. Now you can give them prasadam. I think we have occupied their time.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Ah, wonderful.
Yeah, that was great. Yeah. Yeah, so what a great little intimate gathering there at the end. Yeah, I showed all the people. Looks like they just, invited some, regular Joes, and then they were asking their questions, right? Because you could see the Krishna devotees were the ones with the ponytail, I believe, and the others were curious, I guess, and asking about, asking about God.
Yeah.
So it's deep in the sense that, there's a lot of people out there that deny the existence of God. Now with science being so prominent. So it seems like the big problem is actually our definition, of God, right?
Yes, yeah.
So,
Yeah.
because at the same sense, there are a lot of people who actually very much believe in God. And some of those people I would also call a madman, right? In the past.
Oh.
Some of the worst atrocities in history, were done, by religious people who totally believed in God and the messengers of God, whichever one, and done awful things because not having the total picture of the totality of God. So if you identify God as, my way, in my language, and in my words used to describe, the absolute, and if you use different words, then you're wrong and separate and different, and then all of the religious wars and conflicts. So really believing in God, yet still, doing horrific things because not realizing that God is, everything. So at the most unlimited version of God, so, non-duality, one source of absolutely everything in existence. That's why I like the term infinite field of consciousness. and everything is a manifestation of that consciousness. So there's an awareness to the universe. And if it wasn't, and it's that very awareness that keeps all of matter able to manifest, because it's, it's like when you have a dream and you visualize something and then you see it and then it's there and it appears in your mind. Well, that's what the universe is to God, right? And you can wrap your head around it. And then everything is the manifestation, the one supreme divine play. And if people have a different view of God than you, then we don't need to attack them. We just need to see that, okay, that view is contained within my view, because it's, God is ultimate and God is everything, right? So yeah, very confusing.
There was something I wanted to touch on, but I forgot.
Okay, so yeah, you're scrolling.
But I'm just scrolling through,
Yeah, so the soul, right? When he was talking about the soul, I thought that was great, because I haven't heard too many, the Indian spiritual teachers, use the word soul, right? So in this line, I think he's equating it with the Atman, which is the light of consciousness, I believe, within you, right? So, and that's true. David Hawkins teaches that as well, where the light of consciousness is the source of all life, right? Because it's the very, energy that manifests into form. So every being out there that is alive is conscious. And it's that consciousness, that manifests as life.
It's so interesting, just this whole conversation also about the body.
Oh, yeah.
They, for some reason, they presumed that the body is bad and dirty and not part of God, and it was this whole misunderstanding. And I thought he might be teaching the same, but then he clarified, and no, it's also part of God, and I like that part too.
I think that's in some other religions out there that really think that the body is sin, right? It's sinful and separate and not part of God. But I love how David Hawkins would teach, non-duality, that if we believe that God is separate from the creation, so transcendent only, not immanent, not part of the creation, then we actually limit God, right? So God is unlimited, right? So then we're saying that, okay, God is everywhere in existence other than in man, right?
Yeah.
So that's a very limited view. So of course, everything, we just need to realize that. And if we can realize it within ourselves that, we're a part of God, experience that, then immediately then we can see that everyone else is the same, right? And it's just the delusion and the level of consciousness of others, the ignorance, the veil, that keeps us all separate, right?
Yeah, we need the body. It's the tool to get us across the ocean of samsara to the shore of nirvana. It's so important. But there are in a lot of Buddhist circles, and there are teachings, right, that you contemplate about the ugliness of the body and the blood and the pus and everything. And that's one path. But eventually you realize, once you transcended that, then it's people get stuck on that concept, and I did too at some point. I was really judgmental towards the body, but it's just so silly, and it's not understanding the whole picture yet. So anyways.
So the body. So there is a place and time for all these sorts of teachings. Like people really attached to the body, then they can go through those teachings and then begin to realize more and identify more with the mind, right? The consciousness, the awareness that is always present in there. And then begin to see that, the body is just an appearance to the mind. And the Course in Miracles is very clear on, what's so great about the body, and the main purpose of it is communication, right? Because if it wasn't for the body, how would we get some of the most spiritual teachings, available to us, right? It was in the form of, avatars the saviors, Jesus, Buddha, Krishna, and then all of the other saints and sages and rishis, and, to communicate, right? We got to communicate the teachings, right? All of the modern spiritual teachers right now that we're listening to, if they didn't get to that level of consciousness where they had some insights and some realizations, and then they teach, there wouldn't be any teachings.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Nice one.
Yeah. Oh, and then the death, he talked about death a lot, right? And then, so in that sense, I see it as, we're all going to die. So then there goes your whole, like your whole being that we're identified. So right now, I'm identified as Roger, and this is who I am. And, say I'm rich and powerful. Doesn't matter, because I'm going to die and all that's going to go away. So the whole identity is gone. And then you, depending on your karma and your level of consciousness, then you're cycled back through samsara, and then you're reincarnated, and then you have to start all over again. So the beauty of this lifetime, right? Focus. So thank you so much for joining us. If you liked this video as much as we did, please hit that like button. Remember to subscribe. It really, really helps the channel. Let us know what you think down in the comments. And remember, raise yourself
and raise the world. Thank you so much, everyone. And a very special thank you to all our members. We love you.
Peace.